Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is a very special video. It's a chatty get ready with me. We are going to talk about all the new releases that are recently coming out in the market and how I'm not big fan of all these mini palettes that are like a smaller version of all the existing palettes they have in their collection. So if you guys want to listen to my rant and listen to what I'm interested in and what I'm absolutely against, then please keep on watching. Okay, let's get ready as well as talk about all these new releases because there are quite a few and I am not on board with each and every one of them. So I'm going to use my Danessa Myricks balm powder thing and I am in the shade 4. So I'm going to mainly concentrate this on the center of my face because that's how I really like this product to be, like more like a primer product rather than like a foundation or a skin tint or anything like that. So let's talk about the new releases. I don't know how the makeup industry and where is it going. One thing that I'm not on board with any of the like eyeshadow palettes that are coming in minis. Like I really don't get the hype about it and who is asking for it. I really don't get it. And it's not like one or two. Like I think it started with Urban Decay, like the beginning of last month when they came out with those mini palettes with like Sin and Half Baked and one more. I don't know, I'm not remembering. But those 3 palettes came into play and I was like, who is even asking about this? For the foundation, I'm going to use the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. I have the shade Syracuse with me, which is medium deep 1. I have a tiny version of this, which is perfect for me right now because I am tan. I know. It's gonna take a while for me for this tan to go away. So I think Urban Decay is the first one to like start the process. And then I saw Pat McGrath came out with that Midnight Voyage palette, which was in the mini form. And guys, I did not expect it to be that mini. I knew that it is gonna be mini because it's just like $29, but $29, it's still pricey. But that was like even smaller than the palm of the hand. Oh my god, I remember Karen Harris comparing it to the chicken nugget. I thought that was so funny. Oh my god, it was that tiny. And I was shocked. I was really shocked to see the size for the $29 that you are like charging. Plus, out of the 6 shades, 5 of them were like already existing in the palettes that you've already released. So I'm like, who's buying it? Especially if it is like your regular customer. Why will they buy this? It can only be feasible for the people who really want to dive into Pat McGrath. And those are none of like special shades. I would have really appreciated if that small palette was all special shades and people really want to get into like knowing Pat McGrath's like Blitz Astral formulas because everyone's like oohing and eyeing about that formula. So it would have made sense if it was that formula. And no, we get a regular matte and a shimmer palette and nothing groundbreaking there too. And then I saw Urban Decay again came out with like Urban Decay Naked Wild West mini palette. I'm like, is this a trend going on? I don't know, but I am apparently not a big fan of this trend. I'm using my Milani Conceal and Perfect concealer. I'm almost out of this one, so I want to finish off with this. And then again, Sigma came out with like the 7-pan eyeshadow palettes, the mini formats of their bigger ones, which are like ambience and warm neutrals and enchanted palette. I'm like, yeah, either these companies are running out of ideas or you really need to collaborate with like small influencers who really have so many ideas in their mind, so many color combos that you can do, or something unique that people have not seen before. I'm really not up for it. Like all these releases, like it's yawn worthy for me. Like I am definitely not going to be buying any of those. I have a bunch of Sigma palettes already in my collection, so I'm definitely not interested in buying the same shades again. I am not going to buy the Pat McGrath one because out of the 6 shades, 3 are already in my collection because I do own the Bronze Seduction palette and nothing is like groundbreaking for me. Now, out of the palettes that are recently released, I would say I was super excited to see the reveal of the Glamlight Michaela palette, the part 2, and I would say I was expecting that. For the liquid highlighter, I'm going to use this Nessamyrix Illuminating Veil liquid highlighter, and this one is in the shade Radiance, the one that comes in the liquid format. It's been quite some time that I've not used it, so I really want to give it a try. Especially it was on the deeper side when, you know, normally, but right now because I'm tan, I better use it. So I'm gonna use the same foundation brush that I use. I'm gonna dab it on the back of my hand and just concentrate on the high cheekbone area. Nothing much, but it would definitely give that glow to the skin, and I'm just looking for that. Yeah, I was talking about the Glam Light Michaela part 2, and I was assuming, obviously the promo pictures were shouting that's gonna be green palette, and if you guys know me, I'm not a big green person, so I was like pretty sure that I'm not gonna buy that palette because it is going to go on the green route, and Michaela loves her green. Actually, I feel like there are a lot of people who love their greens. I'm not a big fan of green eyeshadows, so I was like, okay, before even like the pictures revealed, I was pretty sure it's gonna be green palette. And if you guys know Michaela loves her jewel tones, which I am a big fan of jewel tones. I'm just not a big fan of blues and greens. And when I saw the palette, I was like, yeah, I can see Michaela creating that palette for sure. Am I gonna pay $42 for that palette as soon as it launches? I don't think so. I am definitely gonna wait for a sale, and I can see myself like buying it. I'm not like eager to run out and buy it, especially I don't know whether I'm going to do a dupe video for that palette or not, because it's a huge palette. If you guys don't know, it's the same size of her original palette. So it's going to look exactly the same, except the lavender is going to turn into like dark green, and the silver particles that move around here and there is going to be gold. And this palette was more like, you know, this is also like completely her. She's a colorful girl, so I can completely see her like living in these shades. And this time it's more jewel tone, but more rich and like deeper tones, I would say, with a lot of green in it. And as soon as I saw like the reveal video, I was like immediately reminded of this palette, which is Beauty by Age of Opulence palette. I feel like if that palette, the part 2 palette, is condensed in a smaller version, it's gonna look like this, but with like exception of greens also thrown in there, because I can definitely see those magenta purpley tones, the blue tones, but I also can see definitely a lot of greens. I would say in this palette, I only feel like these two are the green shades. She also has like a chocolatey brown shade in her palette. So I'm gonna do something with this palette as well as some Luxy eyeshadows that I have in my collection, and come out with like a similar color story on my eyes. I'm just making myself believe that I do not need that palette. I don't want to like run out and buy that palette. Although I'm not like oohing and eyeing over that palette. The palettes that I'm really excited about is the new palette that's gonna come from It's Belle Cosmetics. I don't know how the palette is gonna look like, because the time that I'm filming this, I have not seen that palette, like the reveal video of that palette. I just know what the shade names are going to be. So out of the shade names, and the name of the palette is called Cool Summer, I think it's going to be blue and pink. Again, do I need that color story in my life? I don't know. But I also don't know, because I absolutely love It's Belle. You guys know that. By the way, I'm using the Bare Minerals Bare Pro powder foundation, and this one is in the shade Medium 35 Cool. But before that, I'm just gonna sculpt my face using the M Cosmetics Cream Bronzer Stick, and this one is in the shade Nomadic. This is definitely a little bit more on the pigmented side. So this is the perfect time to use it when I am super tan, but I still will use like a very tiny little bit, because yeah, this is pigmented. Yeah, so talking about the eyeshadow palettes, I definitely am interested to see how the It's Belle palette is gonna look like. They definitely excite me for every launch that they do. I just don't know if it's gonna be all shimmer palette. It's Beal palettes have always been like 9-pan eyeshadow palettes, but this time they're doing a 16-pan eyeshadow palette, which I'm excited about. I don't know whether they're gonna do shimmers and mattes for the first time, or is it gonna be all shimmer palette again. I am ready for both. Like I would be excited for anything that It's Beal comes out with, because I really love their formulas and their color story. There's like, I have both the Break the Rules palette as well as Flare Collection Remix palette, and you guys know how much I use both on my channel, like how much I use them, because I really love them. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how that is, how that rules. I don't know how like a bright and colorful is it gonna be, or is it gonna be more on the wearable side? Because I feel although like jewel tones and those colors are like super attractive and super different, it just boils around the fact that how much I'm gonna use it. So I am gonna keep that in mind for sure. Before I dive into like anything else. Where's my blush? I didn't get a blush. Okay, so let me get a blush. I want to use this. This is LYS Beauty's Confident Cream Blush. It's been quite some time. Let's use this baby. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. The other palette that I'm really excited about is Simply Posh's the new palette. They have released a few shades, and that palette is about to launch in July. I don't know the date as yet, but if I have any details by the time like this video goes up, I'll definitely leave it in the description box below for you guys. But I'm super excited. Now that palette also has a few greens and blues, and purples are like definitely my favorite shade to wear. I've never tried a Simply Posh palette, and I'm definitely drawn to the shades that they have come out with. It's very jewel tone, and the greens in that palette is not like grassy greens or like, you know, Kelly greens. It's more like on the wearable side or on like the muted jewel tone side. That really attracts me. So I'm super excited about that. Hopefully those two palettes would be really good. Don't know how it looks. Again, I'm actually looking forward to the new Natasha Denona palette that will release like the summer fall season. I'm making a point that I stick to 10 palettes for this year. It's very difficult for me because I love my eyeshadow palettes. But let's see how that rolls. I have not like disclosed it to you guys. I've told in like a couple of my videos that I am looking for like a low buy for this year. If you want to see like an update of what my goals are for this year for each and every category, I can definitely film it out for you guys. But I would say I definitely wanted to hold off to like any collections. For the powder, I'm using this Givenchy Prism Leap powder, and this one I have in the shade 4. I am in love with this palette. So yeah, there's nothing more to say about it. Like I really feel that the powder puff with this powder combination is absolutely breathtaking. I absolutely love this powder. Yeah, but I'm super excited to see what Natasha Denona also comes out with for this year. Because I'm going on lower palettes this year, I definitely want to like get the palettes that really called out to me. I would say the only palette that has not landed in my collection and that absolutely attracted me was the Heather Austin palette in Adept Cosmetics. That palette has not landed in my collection only because I've done a dupe video and I almost have all the shades of that palette in my collection. That's why I'm holding on to it. Like I really don't need it, but I feel like it's gonna be like my Club Nebula palette that I even miss like even today, even though those shades were already existing in my collection also. So I think that I'm gonna miss that. I really hope that that goes on a sale for Black Friday. Then I would definitely get that if I've not like crossed that 10 eyeshadow palette mark. But that's the only palette that is like I am like like, you know, I really need it, but do I actually need it or not? That's the only palette that I would be like super happy if that comes to my collection like as a gift or something. I'll be over the moon excited for sure. Okay, so let's start off with playing with this palette. What are we gonna do? I don't know, but I definitely want to play with blues and greens because of Michaela Part 2 palette. Let's start off with the shade Hope. This beautiful, like an emerald green shade, this one. And I'm gonna concentrate that. I'm so afraid of these shades. I'm gonna concentrate that on like the inner third of my eyelid and towards like in my crease, I would say, and then just blend it out. I should have actually done my eyes first. We'll make it work. There'll be a lot of blending going forth. Let's just go through the trend mood page also so that, you know, we can discuss all the other things that are coming in the market. Along with the Michaela palette, I can also see like a highlighting palette with 3 shades, and that seems like super. That's like $20 for 3 highlighters. I think that's a good deal, but if you wear those shades, because I can definitely see like a pinky, bluey, iridescent shades. I can also see like a pink to a green shifting shade, and I can see like a bronzy shade. So if you wear those if you wear those highlighters on your face, I think that is a great deal to have. But again, I can definitely wait for a sale to happen. Actually, I grabbed my Michaela palette on a sale, which I'm so glad because I got it for like, I don't know, $28, $25. And I'm not a person who's like running. I'm definitely a consumer first. So, and I don't get like PR packages, so I don't want to like waste my money on the palettes that I don't like regularly use in my everyday life. I definitely would love to review all of this for you guys and like use it because I really love my eyeshadow palettes, but right now it's not feasible for me. So yeah, that's the standpoint on that. So now I'm gonna move into this shade, which is called Rich from the palette, which is more of that deeper green shade. And I'm gonna go towards the outer corners and then just tap so that I can meet with that crease shade. You will hardly see me going with greens ever in my videos, but I just wanted to do something different today. So that's why we're dipping into greens. I'm also gonna place that on my lower lash line, especially on the outer corners, just like that, and then just blend into each other. I look hideous, I know. Apart from that, what I can see is Kylie Cosmetics coming out with like lip glosses. That really looks nice. But again, I agree to what other people are saying, that it is, I feel like it's going more on the Colourpop route, I would say. Even like the packaging for like a high-end brand, it doesn't seem like scream high-end to me. It really doesn't. So yeah, I'm not like over the moon excited about it, but it seems interesting. I can see myself like throwing it in my cart when I'm doing some Ulta shopping. But yeah, again, I would not go out of my way to purchase that. Okay, now for the crease. I just want to blend my crease because I look like a green raccoon. I'm gonna go back into RSVP with a clean brush, and I'm just gonna go towards the edges and just blend out the edges so that I can get a smooth transition. I also see a new Wet n Wild collection release with Stitch. Again, I have not watched Stitch, so I'm not a big fan. I mean, I don't know how to become a big fan of that because I've not watched it. If I'm not like a fan of that program, I, being just like a consumer looking at the shades, that doesn't excite me. I'm really sorry if I like offend you. But those seem to be super boring, like as per the shades are concerned. But otherwise, if you're a big fan of the program, then I would say, yeah, go for it. But otherwise, I mean, I am a big Wet n Wild fan, but that didn't like speak out to me. So yeah, I can definitely like ease out on that. Okay, now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go into this shade, which is called Dandy from the palette. And I'm just gonna go and tight line my lower lash line with it, just like that. I really need a little cut off from that green because that is bothering my eyes. Can you see me going outside my comfort zone? If you cannot see me, I don't know what to do. Okay, now the other thing that I can see is the new Colourpop collection with Jasmine Chiswell. It has two 5-pan eyeshadow palettes in that. It has a few bunch of like lipsticks, lip glosses in that. Again, nothing that like excites me. Absolutely like must have kind of a thing. I'm not a big fan of like red lipsticks. Again, it's more like a green eyeshadow for me. Like you would see me like in my browns and in my nudes. Yeah, so it doesn't like excite me. But again, even the eyeshadow palette, like it's either like super pink and red, or it's like blue and gray. Both, I'm not a big fan of the color story. So yeah, I can easily skip on that. Oh yes, the other thing that I'm super excited about is Rare Beauty coming out with their lip liners and their lipsticks. And I cannot wait to test out their formula. Like I really cannot. Next time I'm doing like a Sephora order, I can definitely see myself putting that in my cart because I really love Rare Beauty products. It's more like Makeup by Mario for me. I really have loved the products that I've tried from the brand, and I can get excited about it. It feels like the colors, the shades are all like super beautiful. So I'm really excited about it. Now for the lid, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna first start off with this blue shade, which is called Revival from the palette. And let's start putting that on our lid, but mainly focusing on like the center of my lid towards the outer corner, but I'm gonna go in more of like a diagonal way. I definitely don't want fallout, and that's the main reason why I put that NYX glitter glue, so that I can avoid that. So let's see how much we can avoid it. These shadows are really pretty. It's just a shame that we are not using the things that we have in our collection, and we are oohing and eyeing on all the new products in the market. Like, yeah, that was the main reason for me to think of like low buy, because I'm like, Smithy, you cannot do this. You really cannot do this. Because all these products that I've bought from my own money, I mean, these are the things that I have been like loving. I really was interested in this, and that's why I got it. So I should definitely use more of it. I'm basically going to dip back into that deeper green shade, which is a rich that we initially used. And I'm going to just intensify the outer corner just a tad little bit, just to deepen it up a tiny little bit. Because I definitely don't want to like lose the blue that we built on the lid. But also I don't want to lose out on the deeper green shade, because remember, we're going outside my comfort zone. So let's not lose on the green. Okay, I like the way it's all coming together. Okay, now for the inner third, I want to use this Luxy Beauty eyeshadow, and this one is in the shade Rockstar, and this is more of like green shade, I would say, but it definitely has like a blue shift also to it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but definitely has one. So I'm going to use the same flat definer brush, just going to turn the other way, and I'm going to pick up this shade Rockstar. It picks up very nicely on the brush. So I'm going to use that and pat it first, and then drag it and mix it towards that blue, so that we can get like a green and a blue mix on the eye. It's definitely like a green gold shade. Again, I'm a big fan of that. I like how this is going. I love the way it's looking. I really like it. It's definitely loud, but I like the way it's looking. I just use the shade Angel Wings on my inner corner, and that is the bright pop that you're seeing on my inner corners. Now, let me just finish off my eyes with some liner and mascara, and I'll get right back. I'm just going to use the Anastasia combo. I have the Anastasia liquid liner and Anastasia mascara. I'll combine this on my eyes and I'll get right back. Okay, so that's how the eyes are looking so far. Now let's move on to the lips. Of course, lip liner. I have to use my KKW Nude too. I mean, I don't know if any lip liner can replace this. So let me finish this. Now let's move on to the lipstick. For the lipstick, I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario's Fanda lipstick. There are only 2 more releases that I wanted to talk about, and that is the e.l.f. Putty Blushes, which is more of the luminous finish. If you guys know me, I'm not a big fan of like glowy blushes, and that's because I do have a lot of texture on my face, and glowy blushes tend to emphasize that a little more. So I'll be skipping out on that for sure. But if you are like a glowy blush person, I think at that price range, it's definitely worth testing it out. And the other thing that really caught my attention, but I'm not going to buy it, is the Fenty Beauty new like bronze shimmer powders. Again, the reasoning is the same. Why am I not buying that? Is just because it is a bronzing shimmer powder, and I don't want to emphasize any texture on my skin with the shimmery powders. So yeah, for that reason, I'm out. For the setting spray, I'm going to use my Benefits Professional Super Setter Spray. Let's do that. Absolutely love that spray. So let everything settle down. For the final touch, I'm only going to use this powder underneath my eyes once again, just because the eyes are so loud. This definitely helps to bring everything together. I'm just going to pat it on the back of my hand and just press it underneath the eyes. Just like that. Nothing too much. But this definitely helps to smoothen out everything on the face. And trust me, powder puffs definitely help a lot. Can you see that difference? I certainly can. I definitely can. So those were my take on the new releases that's going to come in the market. And let me give you a closer look on my final look. So yeah, I really love the way how everything is turned out. The only thing that I'm not loving is my hair. I did not do anything. I did not have the time to do anything. So I was like, yeah, let's just film. They can understand your messy hair. But yeah, I really love the way everything looks. Even though this is like outside my comfort zone, I really like the way it is. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know if there's anything that is coming out new in the makeup industry that is absolutely exciting to you, and what is the new release that you are like eagerly waiting for. If you have anything like that, definitely do let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week, every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.